if you're new to real estate investing, you got to learn the lingo. And what I mean by learning the lingo, I don't necessarily mean going out and renting Glengarry Glen Ross or Boiler Room and watching that a million times, or that's because you should own those movies and have already watched those a billion times. But what I'm talking about is all of the acronyms we need to know between GOI or ARV or NOI or GPI or GRM. I'm honestly going WTF, right? So I'm going to try to break down some of those in this video for you. Alright, so let's break down some of these acronyms for you guys. So, picked out some oldies but goodies up here. We got GPI. Anyone? No. Gross potential income. So, you know what? Let's just move these for right now. So, gross potential income, GPI. Pretty easy. Let's say we've got a 10-unit building, and we bring in $1,000 a unit. So we're going to multiply that. Our monthly income is going to be 10K, right? Then we're going to multiply that by 12 months in the year, right? Which will give us our annual, which would be $120,000 a year, right? Which would be our GPI. Now, let's get into our GOI, right? You can see this around, GOI. Gross operating income. Right? GOI. So what is that? What's the difference here? Well, we're still going to take the 120,000, but now we need to minus our expenses. Now, not all of our expenses. This is just going to be your vacancies, or like if people aren't paying rent, right? So just kind of a good rule of thumb is about 10%. So if we were going to take that out, and also what that includes too is in a vacancy, that includes like your advertising cost to get a new tenant, or the cost it takes for a property manager to go out and find a new tenant. All that comes into play, maybe doing some of the very minor repairs, the repainting and stuff to when you have turnover, right? So let's just say that's times 10%, right? That's going to bring us out to, what's that, $12,000? It's going to bring us out to $108,000, which would be our GOI. Alright, so we've talked about GPI, GOI. Let's go ahead and go with NOI. Alright, the only change on here is it's the net operating income, right? You're going to see this everywhere, so you need to know what this number is and how to get it. It's going to be your GOI, which we got over here is $108,000, and we're going to minus all the expenses, all of the expenses, not including your debt service, your mortgage, but this is going to be your property taxes, your maintenance, water, sewer, trash oftentimes, even sometimes electricity and gas, advertising, property management, marketing, I guess that's pretty much a lot of the expenses I just named, but anything that would go along that line would be in here. Now, a good rule of thumb would be somewhere around like 35%, maybe even 40%. We're going to go with 35. We're going to say this place is running pretty good. We're going to go with 35%. So what you do with that, take your GOI, multiply it by 0.65, which is a 35%, and we're going to spit out a number. I believe this comes out to 70,200. And that, my friends, would be your NOI. So one of the other numbers you're going to see out there is going to be your GRM. All right, let's GRM. Let's see here. Ooh, this is a good one. Your gross rent multiplier. Yes. Now, the gross rent multiplier, you're going to see it in a lot of places, and honestly, it's not the greatest tool to use for looking at properties. But people still tend to use it. I think they just decided that they were going to come up with a number by dividing some numbers together, and then that's how they can compare some properties. So take it for what it's worth, but let's go ahead and show you how to calculate the GRM if we were going to do it. So you basically take your market value of a property. Wow, that's going to bother me. Let's go ahead and use the black. The market value. And we're going to divide that by our GPI, right? So we're going to divide that by 120,000, or, well, GPI. Let's just say we've got, the market value of this property is 800,000. We're going to divide it by 120,000. This should spit out a number, I believe it was 6.67. So your GRM would be 6.67. If you had multiple properties that you were looking at and you were comparing them, you might go by this number when you're comparing other like properties, or in the like area at least, on whether or not you're going to spend more time on one or the other. Yeah, so that's GRM for you. Now it's interesting though, because you could also take GRM to find out maybe what the value of a property should be, right? So let's say that you're looking at all these properties and the average GRM in the area is about 6.5, right? So if we took that 6.5 instead, and we multiplied it out, and we go 6.5, and we multiply it by the income, 120K, and this would kick out a number of 780K. So you can go ahead and compare properties and compare GRMs to possibly come up with what you would pay for a property also, right? So if this one was being marketed at 800,000 and you were at 780, hey, you might be able to figure out how to make up that number to get to that 800 mark, or at least begin negotiations, right? I mean, you guys already know BTW, right? WTF. Do I have to go over those with you guys? Nah. We'll save that for another video. Hope you guys have a great day. Look forward to making some more videos for you guys. And we'll go over some more formulas too. We need to still get into ARV and understand how NOI works into all of that too. Alright? See you next time.